Hey everybody, it's Miss O'Neill here, and today is a good day to have a good day. We are still going on with science, talking about birds. We actually have two big things to talk about in today's science lesson. So we're going to be identifying how birds move, so taking a close look at how birds move. And then we're going to be talking about identifying characteristics of birds' bodies. So we're going to be taking a close look at what makes a bird a bird. Let's go ahead and get started. Right? Yes, there we go. So, birds move by doing a few different things. They fly, they run, they walk, they hop, they climb, or they swim. But not all birds can move in all of these ways. Almost all birds can fly. Almost. Birds fly by flapping their wings, as you can see in this picture here. Some birds also glide or soar through the air. So they flap their wings maybe a couple times and then they just hold them out and they glide kind of like a paper airplane. When birds glide or soar, they use air currents to move and do not have to flap their wings. But there are a few birds that cannot fly. We're going to talk about two really quickly. Do you think you can name them? One bird is a penguin and the other is an ostrich. So penguins do a lot of swimming, they do a lot of sliding on their tummies. Um, they live in really cold, icy places, so it's easy for them to do that. And ostriches, as you can see, they run kind of like a turkey almost. They look just like a really big turkey. Don't like ostriches so much, but I love penguins. All right, almost all birds can move on land. Most birds move by walking or hopping. Some birds, like the ostrich, can run very quickly. Only a few birds cannot walk or hop on land. We're going to talk about two. Do you think you can name them? One of these birds is called a loon, kind of like a duck, and then another bird is called a hummingbird. So you can see in this video, the loon's legs are way at the back and up to the side a little bit. Those are really good for paddling in water. So loons are fantastic swimmers, not so good walkers on land. And hummingbirds, you can see their wings do a whole lot of work. Their legs are here. They're all curled and tucked up, though. They don't do a lot of waiting around. Some birds can swim. Birds, like ducks and loons, swim by moving their legs and their feet. Other birds, like penguins, flap their wings to help them move through water. So I'll go back quickly so you can see over here, that we talked about how the loon's legs are really good for swimming, and over here you can see the penguin using his wings to flap. And just because I love penguins so much, I just wanted to include a whole bunch of funny penguin videos. Okay. Oh, so cute. Awesome. So quick check. What are some of the ways that birds move? They fly, soar, glide, walk, run, hop, climb, swim. We good? Now we're going to start talking about the parts of a bird's body, right? Identifying the characteristics of a bird's body. So one of the ways that ornithologists identify birds is by looking at different parts of their bodies. So you can tell that one bird is a penguin because of the how long its body is. Right, if you're looking at a penguin, you can tell it's a penguin and not a bluebird by a whole lot of different characteristics. So today what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a picture of a bird and we're going to start learning the names of body parts for birds. Okay, so this bird is a robin. So we have the beak over here, the neck down here, the throat, the chest, the side, the belly, kind of the bottom almost, feet, The tail out here, a tail can be really tiny or it can go way, way, way out, like on a robin. There's the rump of a robin. We have primary feathers. So the primary feathers are the feathers that are right on top of the wings that help the bird fly. We have wing bars. So the wing bars is, if you took all the feathers away, you would see the wing bar. It's kind of like the muscle of the wing. The nape, that just means the back of the neck, and the crest. So for a bird like a robin that has a lot of feathers on top, this is called a crest, but for a bird like a penguin, where there are no feathers on top of the head, and it would just kind of be almost like a semicircle over here, that would be called a crown. So the top of a bird's head can either be a crest or a crown. And then an eye ring. So some birds have darkness around their eyes that helps them see a little bit better. All birds have wings, okay? Not almost all. All birds have wings. Strong muscles and bones in their wings, especially in the wing bars, help birds fly. All birds have bills. A bill can also be called a beak. So let me go back really quickly. There's a bill or a beak. A bird uses its bill to catch or pick up food. A bird does not have teeth. So they either swallow its food whole or they cut their food up with the bill. One of my favorite things about looking at birds and their beaks is that by looking at a bird's beak, you can tell a lot about the bird, mostly what they eat, and sometimes maybe even where they live. So over here I have this really helpful chart. There are different names for different kinds of beaks, okay? So for a bird like a robin over here, they have a, say cracker or crocker? Not 100% sure, but they have a very short, very pointy beak. And you can tell by looking at the beak that beak was made to eat seeds. It's strong so it can crack a seed, they can get right to it. If you are a bird, you don't need a really, really big beak just to pick up a tiny, tiny thing. Birds of prey, like hawks and owls, have very, very sharp, curved bills called shredders that kind of help shred the things that they're eating up. There are birds like woodpeckers that have beaks called chisel beaks, and they're long and look kind of like a chisel because, well, they're named after a chisel, right? So that's good for going straight into the wood of a tree, like a woodpecker would, and eating insects. It's very, very long over here, as you can see. So a woodpecker wouldn't have to peck down a whole tree just to find a couple of insects. They can peck little holes in a tree, really, really small holes deep in the tree, so they can take the insects out that way. Hummingbirds have something called a probe bill. You can go back in the video to take a look at the hummingbird if you want to. They are very, very long and very, very thin, and they are perfect for helping the hummingbirds get the nectar out of the bottom of a flower. There's something called strainer beaks, and a lot of ducks have long, flat bills. Oh, excuse me, that strain small plants and animals from the water. If you've ever seen a duck eat, they kind of skim the surface a little bit, and a strainer beak helps with that. There are other birds that have spear beaks that help them go deep into the water and pick out their fish to eat. Oh my gosh, what's it called? A pelican has a spear beak. Something like tweezer beaks are really, really helpful for eating insects, like we were talking about with the robin way up at the top. And then there's also something called a Swiss Army knife beak. And it's named after a Swiss Army knife because there's a lot of different uses for it. So crows have a multi-purpose bill that allow them to eat a whole bunch of different things like fruit and seeds and insects and fish and sometimes even other animals. Okay? So you might be thinking, that's cool, you can show what they eat, but what about where they live? Well, if you're taking a look at an animal like a duck, that strainer beak you see or a spear beak that you see, you can tell they live somewhere near the water. Chisel beaks over here, you can tell that they might be living in a really, really foresty, woodsy area. There's a lot of different ways that you can tell. It's pretty cool, right? Awesome, so that is it for this video, except I want to show you one of my favorite bird videos, so let's go ahead and watch. It's the kind of beat that go. Alright, I love you a lot, I miss you a bunch, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye everyone!